Good afternoon. I apologize for the delay. I've been having some technical difficulties today, as I'm sure some of y'all are also struggling with. I do have news about the textbook situation. So, those of y'all that were enrolled a little bit later than the first day, your Clever accounts have not synced with Savas Realize, so you can't access the textbook. And I've noticed that if you're trying to do it from your phone, the option for it won't even show up. So what I've done is I'm not going to take a grade for the Intro to Gothic Lit. Those of y'all that were able to do it and have done it, I will provide feedback for that. And I'll be looking into bonus points or something. But since so many of y'all could not access it, it would not be fair to take that for a grade. However, the house taken over will still be a grade. And I'm sorry, you're going to see me looking off to the side a lot for this video. My talking notes are there. So for this is kind of an informational and a lesson in one. And that I'm going to be covering, aside from the textbook situation, which I do not know when Clever is going to sync. The district doesn't really know. So in the meantime, we're going to have to find an alternative way to get those stories to you. But aside from the textbooks, and from letting you know that House Taken Over is still a grade, I was going to go over what I expect from the graphic organizer, how it should look, and what exactly it is that you're looking for. So I'm going to assume at this time that you watched the Magical Realism video and that you saw the clip and that you understand what it is when I say magical realism, what that means, and why we're reading this particular story. The graphic organizer, this is just a printed, covered up version, looks like this on the front, and the second page looks like this. Now, what you are reading for when you're reading this is on the first column, right here, where it says Elements of the Unknown. This is where you are, as you're reading, you're going to find examples of strangeness in the house. To be more precise, you are looking for mentionings of when that thing or when those things are in the house. On this side, you're documenting the character's reaction to that. So on this side, you're pulling a quote mentioning that incident. On this side, you are going to write down how the characters reacted or how they didn't react. So you're going to find another quote and you're going to put that there. In both cases, you are going to be putting paragraph numbers. Now, it doesn't say it in the instructions, so I'm going to clarify here that you need to have 3 examples total. I am going to give you one today, but as to turn it in, you should be able to provide 2 more to add to this. On the back, you need at least 2 words that you did not know, that you have looked up, and that you have written down the definition for. That is in context with the story. Don't just go to Merriam-Webster and look up the word and choose the first one. Make sure it relates to the context of the story. Now, I am going to be changing the deadline. So this is not going to be due yesterday. This is going to be due on Tuesday for you guys. So you will have all weekend to get this done. It'll be due Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. just to ensure that you have enough time to read the story, which is now posted, and to get this graphic organizer completed. So even if you think you're done, just double check it, go through it one more time, make sure you have those 3 examples and 2 words, and now you're adding on the correct definition. Okay, so what you have here is the House Taken Over graphic organizer, the one that I just showed the hard copy of. Here is page 1, here's page 2. I'm going to go up here to the top, open with Google Docs, and it takes you to the template. So right here, I'm just going to click As I'm in the other tab reading, I will just take note of, as I said, the elements of the unusual. Oh, well, hold on. Elements of the unusual. And I am going to give you one now, just as an example, because you do need 3. However, the third one is quite difficult to find. So I am going to go to paragraph 21, where Irene and the narrator, our unnamed protagonist, are sleeping. So at night, as you've seen, or as you've read, Irene talks. She's in a bedroom in one side of the house. Then you've got the living room. Then you have the protagonist's bedroom. He can hear her all the way across this, as they describe it, an apartment within this mansion, just talking in her sleep. So we presume that she's not whispering, she's being rather loud. Now, and we know that when he sleeps, Irene says that he thrashes about, he moves around violently in his sleep. And if she knows from across the apartment, we are to presume that they're very loud, that he's not just, rolling around, he's knocking stuff down, he's hitting the walls, that he is very violent in his nighttime behavior. That in and of itself is very bizarre. But if you go past that in paragraph 21, you also learn that they are very in tune with one another. And the direct quote, and the part that matters the most, is towards the end, where he is reading and he talks about how, they can hear, they know when they're coughing, when they're breathing. And we could even feel, so what I'm going to do is open quotations, do an ellipses, because I don't need the entire sentence. I just need the part that's important to the context. So the part where it says, could even feel each other reaching for the light switch. And so I type that in and I close parentheses. Now that's unusual because they're rooms apart, and yet he's saying, as though it's just normal, oh, I know when she's going to turn on the light. I know when she's turned off the light without having to see it. And to me, I thought that was very bizarre. So although it doesn't incorporate the things in the house, it is still an element of the unusual. So now that I have that, I need to document the reaction, or in this case, definitely a non-reaction. And I'm going to mix it up. Normally, when you find a character reaction, it's after the event being listed. But for this example, and this is why it was the most difficult one to find, the reaction is actually in front of it. So paragraph 20, the second to the last sentence, where he says, we were fine. You learned to live without thinking. So that was the most important part. They are having nighttime terrors. And there's things, or there's something or someone taking over the house. And yet he says, we were fine. So I just quoted that because I felt that encompassed the quote, before that. So now you officially have 1. You do need 2 more, a quote on this side and its equal quote of the reaction. And you need at least 2 unknown words. If you go through it, there are plenty of words that are listed and not listed throughout the text that are quite a high vocabulary. So it should be rather easy to find at least 2 words that you're just not familiar with. So you are going to find that word and then type down and find its meaning. That is it. Again, you have until Tuesday night to turn this one in. It is for a grade, so please make sure you get this done. All right. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will not see them, however, until Tuesday morning, so please keep that in mind. Thank you, and y'all have a good weekend.